not gonna stick to the table. And I can move it around on there as well. So I have been making a few pinch pots, and I showed you how to make a little one, but I would like you to work on increasing your size as well, because we're gonna do a few projects at the start of the quarter with these pinch pots. And so I'm gonna make one fairly quickly here, and I wanna talk to you about some things that can go wrong. So I'm starting at the bottom, and I'm thinning out the bottom first, and I'm going faster because I've been doing this a long time. But if you bring yourself all the way up to the top right away, one of the things you sometimes find is that you stretch out the wall like that. That happens because your thumbs were working harder than your fingers. So as you come up gradually and you make sure that the pressure is either even or maybe even a little bit more pressure from the outside fingers, that won't happen. But clay's very forgiving. So if that does happen, you get several options for how to fix it. One is, if it hasn't ripped yet, you can go just kind of squeeze it back together like that. And you can see my heights have gotten a little funny, but it's not getting quite so wide. And I've got some, as I feel my hand through here, it's thinner, thicker, thinner. And so I can continue to shape the wall of this piece by pressing in those areas, right? Another thing that sometimes happens is the clay starts to rip when you do that. It might rip because when you first went to work with a ball of clay, you took two separate pieces and stuck them together, and the clay has kind of a memory, and so it's gonna remember that crack and see how it starts to pull apart. Now, if it does do that, you can sometimes get away with simply smoothing your finger across that seam like this, particularly if the clay is kind of wet. You can just smooth it across and continue working. If it rips like this, you can fold the clay across and smooth your finger like that. If you end up with, let's see if I could get this to the place where I want it to be. If you end up with sort of a gap, right, that I have less clay there. Somehow I just ran out of clay there. You also can take a little bit of clay and you can simply create a patch. This is the pinch method. And so I'm gonna smooth this patch in there. I didn't have to prepare it particularly, other than it was wet clay and not leather hard clay. But I was able to just kind of smooth it in place. It looks kind of yucky on the outside, same thing, just smooth it across. The clay is very forgiving now, but listen to me say that. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I do this all the time, right? I make pinch pots all the time. Oh, God. Sorry, Ruth Bader Ginsburg just died, apparently. Sorry, anyway, working with this all the time, I have a real feel for the clay, and what we're trying to get you all to the point of is having some level of feel for the clay. So if your first pinch bowl looks like this, or like this, right? That's not a waste of time. That's something you've learned, okay? So let's think about what went wrong there and what can I adjust to make it better? What can I do now to fix it? Or maybe I should just start over again and try again. Try it a second time.